All right, affidavits of support. Gretchen, I think you're going to find this one interesting. So,
I feel like every time I talk to family law attorneys about affidavits of support, I blow someone's mind. So, an affidavit of support is required. Remember all those papers I said and all those forms we have to file as part of the bigger package? One of them is the affidavit of support. And the affidavit of support is the US citizen's promise to the government. It's a contract with the US government and with the immigrant. It's a three-way contract where they are promising that their spouse is not going to become a public charge. And what that means is that they are going to earn at least 125% of the poverty guidelines. They're going to live at that standard and they're never going to go ask for benefits like food stamps. They're never going to go live off the government. So the government is giving you status in exchange for a promise that this person is not going to become a public charge. The US citizen is promising that they will support them to that level. And if the citizen doesn't make enough money to support them to that level, then there's a co-sponsor. So sometimes mom, dad, a primo, like somebody gets corralled in to be a co-sponsor. And sometimes there's two people on the hook to keep this person sustained for up to 125% of the poverty guidelines.
This
And
is
this is,
forever?
well, let's talk about that. That's the catch here, right? That's actually done on a table. So the bigger the family, the more money. So the 125% of the poverty guidelines is based on household size. So let's say that you're a US citizen petitioning for a spouse that already has two kids and there's two stepkids. That number just gets higher and higher of how much it is that you have to support them. Now, does that mean that if the non-immigrant isn't making any money and is, staying home, being a house husband, being a housewife, whatever, that you have to give them money? No, but it means they're not going to go get money from the government in return, right? Like at least their lifestyle is sustained that much. So to your question, is this forever? Very near so. So the affidavit of support does not go away with a divorce. So the affidavit of support only goes away if the person dies, if the person is deported, if the person becomes a US citizen. At that point, they're in charge of themselves. And it goes away if they earn 40 quarters under the IRS. So that's 10 years employed, earning more than the 125%. So you can imagine a really contentious divorce proceeding where people are like, well, screw that. What motivation do I have to work? Because now I have a contract that I can show the divorce court saying you promised to maintain me to 125% of the poverty guidelines. And this has absolutely been used in alimony arguments and conversations in all 50 states. There's tons of case law. There's actually not much in Florida, but there's tons of case law that has really evolved around this. Some states taking a more favorable look at it, others not. But nevertheless, you can't contract it out of it. And you can't prenup out of it too. That's not allowed.
That was going to be my next question. What if
Nope,
there's another contract contradicting
nope,
that?
nope, nope.
it's wild.